everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are so excited today. We have an epic podcast for you today. We have the cast and director of the new Lifetime Christmas movie, Welcome Home Christmas, here with us. And it's just so exciting. I'm film critic Rachel Wagner. I'm so delighted to have all of these guests with us. And first, I'll introduce Brian is here, Brian Herzlinger. And this is your, I think, third time coming on the podcast. And so thank you so much for coming on and talking with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. And I'm excited for you to get to meet Jana and Brandon here.
Yes.
This such a lovely experience. You get to get a glimpse of it now.
Yes. So we're so excited. We have Hall star extraordinaire and podcaster, Jana Kramer is here. Thanks so much, Jana.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And we have her co-star, Brandon Quinn is here. And if you're watching the YouTube, you can see how committed he is. He's even making time in his car to do this. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So this is great. Well, why don't we start out by just talking a little bit about how this movie, Brian, how did you become involved in the film? What was sort of the path of this movie?
Well, there's long story short. I was contacted by the producers, and I was told that it was going to be shot in Nashville or around Nashville, Tennessee, and the idea was to try to make a movie during COVID. And I think there was a very, when we shot this it was July and August we shot it. There hadn't been many that were shooting at that point. And everybody was figuring out the protocols. And so I was a little wary about doing it. But fortunately, my family and I were quarantined in Florida with my in-laws. So I was about a 7-hour drive from Nashville. That was the only way I was able to say yes, because they weren't allowed to fly anybody in. So if I had been home in LA, I wouldn't have been able to direct the movie. So I think Brandon had a roughly about the same amount drive from Georgia, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Jana was 40 minutes away, so it worked out great for her. But it was I got the script. I thought the script was really great. I don't think there had been a Lifetime Christmas movie that dealt with veterans returning and telling a love story in that context, and that was interesting for me. And I just it wound up becoming one of my it was definitely the toughest experience I've ever had in terms of making a movie during COVID. I mean it was a tough one. We have a lot of stories to tell for the rest of our lives. Yeah. But having just literally signed off on the color correcting and the sound mix about an hour ago, I could not be more proud of the movie. I can't tell you how good these two are in it. It's just a blast. It's such a fun movie to watch. So I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Jana, when did you become involved in this one?
So probably, when did we film this? It was right after the 4th of July. I got an email about it, and I thought it was too good to be true. Honestly, when I got the email, I was like, "Wait, an offer? It's filming in Nashville? Like, there's no way." And then I read the script, and I was like, "Okay, 3 things." It was just like, "How is this possible?" It was great location. The timing was amazing, especially when everything, shut down. So the fact that, I was grateful enough to be able to work. And then I love the script. And, it's a lot of times with these movies, it's the same thing, girl meets the dude, falls in love. They have some kind of workshop they do, or, some kind of event. But this one, it was different. It was special. It was about veterans. It was about, just being home for Christmas. And I don't know, it's just the few other touching things at the very end of the movie too, that just, I actually cried when I was reading it, which I've never cried at a Christmas movie I've done before. So
that's great. And so, what was that like for you, Brandon, to come into this film and to have to play a soldier? That must have been an experience.
Yeah, it was really great. I guess to piggyback on what they were talking about, I love this script because it just, the whole thing felt grounded. And it had to do with the premise of the movie, just based around veterans and the struggle that my character is going through, sort of acclimating back into civilian life, and it was great. It gave me a lot to play with, and it gave my character sort of this arc through the entire story, and yeah, it was really appealing to me to be able to play something like that, and it just felt very, very real. Brian was amazing. He put a lot of he trusted Jan and I a lot, and just basically was like, you guys, I trust my casting, you guys do your thing, and it was awesome. The three of us worked extremely well together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they both made my job easy, which is great to have when you're directing. But I think it was also, I equate this to being in the foxhole in like battle, and this was a foxhole. I mean, it was like the world was against us trying to get this thing made. And it was like, sure, you're right.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say, I was going through some of my photos just, over the last few months of filming, and I saw when we got shut down again, and the producers were all kind of standing in the middle, and the crew was around us, and I was just like, I felt the anxiety just looking at that photo, because I was like, oh my God, I remember that just being like, are we even going to be able to finish this movie? Because we had half the crew leaving, and what were we going to do? And it was just, it was
insane.
Nuts.
It was insane. We shut down 3 times making this film.
Well, I remember that because we did the patron watch along, right around when that was happening. Brian was kind enough to join us to watch Twinkle All the Way with our patrons, and it was right. He hadn't gotten any sleep the whole night because of all what had happened. And so, what was the timeline kind of on that? So they closed, you said 3 times they had to close down?
Yeah. Jana's laughing because the first one, I think.
The first one was on me. I accidentally got pneumonia. So.
Accidentally. Well, imagine this, Rachel. She did get pneumonia.
We think it was on purpose, but
yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I did. I wanted to elongate the process because I love the people that I was with so much. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to fake sick so we can just no.
So everyone can freak out. And
to sum it up for you, Rachel, to sum it up for you, it's this situation. It's pneumonia, COVID, hurricanes. I'm trying to think what else happened during the making of this movie. It was absolutely just you have a certain set of curve balls that are thrown at you while you're making a movie. This was a whole new set of curveballs.
Yeah.
And but that being said, I mean, they were troopers. They were absolute troopers to get through this thing. The schedule just kept changing. Scenes were moving from outside to inside. We were adjusting dialogue, rewriting scenes. When Jana was sick, we had to write her. She's in every scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So there was the first day, that first Wednesday, Brandon got a whole new set.
Well, technically, she's not in every scene now.
Yes, exactly.
That scene that I'm not in is really good. I watched it, really good. So.
Okay, good. I was worried. I was extremely worried that day. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You were worried that day. I didn't know if we were coming back. I'm literally. We were ready to shoot. We were set up, and then we lost Jana to the pneumonia, and then I'm like, I think I have to rewrite this. I have to rewrite this now. So I'm going off into. I didn't have a trailer. I went to the corner. and rewrote the scene. So anyway, but the point is, you won't notice anything when you see the movie. It looks like we had all the time in the world and no issues whatsoever because everybody was really professional. It worked out great.
Well, I got to say though, it really does start at the top. You just have this great presence on set. Anyone else, I would imagine. Well, I know it was extremely stressful, but you wouldn't know, being on set working with you. You handled it like a champ. You took it as it came. You dodged the punches, and it helped calm Jan and I. We all got through it together. I think we all understood that this was a possibility going into it. Didn't think it would happen 3 times, but it did, and we got through it. And I think
it's an amazing movie now.
Yeah. So and hopefully the finished product is well worth it. I'm hearing good things.
Hearing good things. Hearing good things. It's good. I'm telling you.
Hey, I'm hearing good things. All right.
I'm hearing good things.
You handled it great.
I think Brandon's on his way to audition for a role in Witness Part 2.
Yes,
I love
sir.
that hat.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's my Gregory Allen Isaacoff hat.
I love it. So anyway, but yeah.
So if there's things are shut down for COVID, what's the path then? Do they have? How long do things just have to be then cleaned, or what happens?
When you shut down for COVID, it's not necessarily because somebody had it. It's because there are protocols that come from SAG that unfortunately with some of the testing you would get false positives, and it was much easier to get a false positive than a false negative. But the moment somebody gets a false positive, that's it. You're done for 48 hours until everybody on the cast and crew gets tested again with the legitimate test, and that takes 48 hours to come back with the results. So it was just a lot of starting and stopping throughout the whole movie. It was a lot of that. But
we'd get into a flow of shooting, and inevitably we would stop for 4 days. Right. I drove back and forth from Nashville to Atlanta far too many times, let me tell you.
Yeah. But again, look, it worked out. And I think, just so you know, it's still happening. One of my best friends is doing a film in Oklahoma right now, and they just shut down because they had 24 positive corona cases on the movie. So it's just, we're trying to make these movies so you guys can watch them and we get to make them, but it's risky. It is risky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Brian, this seemed like more of a drama than some of your previous films. Would you agree with that or no?
I think there's a gravitas to this one that wasn't in the other ones because of the military element to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jana's character works at a soldier transition office whose job it is to help acclimate returning vets like Brandon's character into daily life. And while we're not going into, really deep layers of PTSD or any of that, I think especially through Brandon's performance, there is a layer of drama that goes on here and a reality check, that I think as far as a movie like this can go for this audience, it is deeper than a lot of the other ones I've done. And I think that's what makes it, again, special. I mean, we're not shying away from shining a spotlight on that demographic, the veterans, and I'm proud of that. And I think I'm sure when Jana and Brandon see the finished movie, they'll agree. It treats veterans with respect. The script did, even when you saw it on the page, it was very reverential towards veterans and also giving you the Christmas magic that you expect from these movies. And that was a fun balance.
I'll just say that I might have been able to see a little bit of it or all of it, and I cried at the very end. So it's gonna be good. I'm really excited for people to see it.
That's great. Well, you've been doing these Christmas movies the last 3 years that are all none of them are in super winter climates, which is very unusual. So you had Christmas in Mississippi and Christmas in Louisiana.
Waiting for
and now this one's set in Nashville.
Nashville, yeah. Yeah.
So you're a real trailblazer when it comes to Christmas movies, I think.
Yeah, no, I was hoping for actually the movie that I was doing for Hallmark was up in Canada in March, and that was freezing. So I was like, yes, finally, I've made it to cold weather and Christmas movie. And then it was just kidding, fly back home. And then this movie is, balls hot again. But it's fun. I mean, it's crazy because when you look at it and you see all the snow around, you're like, there was no snow. And it was 90 degrees, but I feel like, with the energy from the other cast, we were all able to, fake it till we made it. Mm-hmm. And it looks natural, at least.
I really liked in Christmas in Louisiana, the boat parade.
Yeah. That was
new.
4 a.m. So,
oh my gosh.
Let's go home.
Yeah. That's great. And Brandon, you've done is this your second Christmas movie?
Yes. Yeah, I did one last year.
Yeah, you were. Well, we called you Hot Dr. Mike last year.
That's right. Yeah, Mike Acosta. There it is. Dr.
Podcast.
Mike Acosta. That is right. Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first one. So this was my first, I guess, leading role in one of these. And it couldn't have been a greater experience. I had the best time.
That's great. So Jana, so you were doing a Hallmark movie? Was that like cut off, and so you weren't able to finish it, or?
Yeah, no. As far as I know, I know. I'm super bummed about it because it was really cool. It was up in the Ice Castle up in Quebec City. So
that's a bummer.
Around another year.
Oh, that's too bad. Would have liked, because they did one in the Ice Castle before.
Yep. With Kevin McGarry, who's been in like 3 films. So I adore him.
Yeah. He's great. But that's too bad. Hopefully they'll do it, and then you have to come back on the podcast. I want to hear all about it. That would be really fun. That must have been a bummer. I have to ask you, Brandon, was it fun to be on the Sweet Magnolias?
It was amazing.
Oh,
yes, it's
show.
really great. And I, sometimes things in life, they just work out. And I didn't know when I had auditioned for it that I actually knew a lot of the people involved in the show. And little by little throughout the process, I was like, oh, wait, you're on the show? Wait, you're on the show? I've been friends with Joanna Garcia for 20 years. And same with Justin Brewing. We've been friends for like 15 years. And then our executive producer and one of our directors, Norman Buckley, I've worked with him on 3 other projects before. So it was awesome walking in. It's always hard when you walk into a show that's established. I came in at the very end of the season, and you're the new guy, and it was amazing. It was like walking into the most friendly environment because I knew so many people on set, and it was just really, 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 really special. And I'm really excited about the show, and excited we got renewed for a second season, and I'm excited to get my hands on season 2 scripts. I hear they're really good.
Oh, that's great. So Brian, when you're doing a movie about the Army, do you have like consultants there to make sure that help you with the accuracy and other things?
Yes, we had a liaison for the military, as well as one of our actors, Craig Morgan, who played Colonel Cole. He had served for years in the military. And so we had a whole list of questions and script notes from the liaison. And then I'm on set with Craig and Jana and Brandon. And I would literally say to Craig, I'm like, oh wait, do people do you salute somebody indoors if they wear a hat, or do they have to be? Is the hat off? Like what's the all that stuff? Mm-hmm. And so he would just fix it right then and there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that there was an attempt to reflect the way it is. For example, a perfect story is Brandon, as he does now, the character has facial hair, right? But that's a no-no, I guess, in the military. And so even though he's out and it worked fine for the movie, when we had to have props make his photo from when, his Army photo, we had to Photoshop out his beard, and we did that day. Right, you remember that, Jana? We were in the office, and we had to
redo the scene too. Remember, because we wanted the shaven one, which Brandon was not going to shave his beard. That was like the first thing I remember when I met Brandon. He's like, "I'm not shaving."
No. I would have. I did not want to shave my beard.
Okay, fine.
I was hoping
you also told me you really didn't want to shave your beard.
Yeah, I said I didn't want to. I would have if it meant not doing the job. I would have.
But no, I couldn't. I couldn't picture you without the beard. So
it's just not my forte. I'm just going to be honest.
It's not your forte.
It's not my thing.
It's not your thing. Winking is his thing, by the way. Rachel, that's another thing. There's a drinking game that will come out of this movie, which is every time Brandon winks in a scene.
I'm so jealous. I can't wink because I have a
Oh,
I have a
Well,
lazy
apparently I can
eye,
do it.
and so I can't wink, and so I'm very jealous.
Well, apparently I do it a little too well. And yeah, it became a thing where
And then
we were shooting a scene and Brian would start laughing like, dude, you winked. And I'm like, what do you mean I winked? He's like, you freaking winked. I guess I had this thing where this is involuntary winking. I was winking at every actor I was working with, and it sort of became the thing. And yeah, Brian will never let me live it down.
I even discovered it. Jen, I didn't tell you this, but today I was looking at the movie, and there's a scene where we're on his back, and he's talking to you, and Savannah's right by him, and I could see out of the corner, I see him winking.
no.
Like even when his back is to camera, he's winking.
Oh
Oh,
man.
I love
It's
it,
good.
man. That's
No, I love
exactly, yeah. It's the subtleties and the performances, really, Brian.
And the
Yeah.
beard, and the beard.
Well, now
And
I'm gonna
of
pay.
course the
Now I'll
beard.
probably notice it. I probably wouldn't have even noticed it, and now I'm gonna be like keeping track. of all
Gosh
the
dang
winking.
it!
But I do think
Gosh dang it!
I do think
Well,
that
don't-
can be
don't
quite
look for it the
sexy
first
as the winking leading man. So
There you go. That's gonna be my thing,
yeah,
and I'm
I
gonna
think
get
it'll
all
be
these
good.
offers. Like all you have to do is wink.
Yeah.
Very
But yeah,
good.
no, it's so we did it. We made our best efforts to have it be accurate, best we could.
Mm-hmm. Well,
We had
Brian,
real
why don't
Black
you?
Hawk helicopters in the movie too. That was cool.
Oh,
Yes, we
That was
A
did.
bunch of military Humvees. We had army. We had soldiers in the film, real soldiers that played extras in the film.
oh, that's
So
cool.
I mean, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gianna, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the movie, just a little bit about the movie and your character?
So my character's name was Chloe, right? I don't remember now.
No, for real. Wait, what was my character's name?
I know, I was like, shoot. Her name was Chloe, and she's an overachiever. She volunteers for everything you can possibly imagine. She's helping veterans. Her actual job is helping veterans transition into normal life. She's single, waiting for the right dude, but also not focusing on it. And the movie is about her journey with her case with what was your character's name?
Michael.
What, Michael Fisher?
Michael, that's
Michael,
right. Yes,
yes.
Michael. So transitioning, helping Michael transition, and what the sparks that possibly can come from helping someone transition. But it's sweet. It's very, like Brian was saying, very military driven, and there's just I help foster this girl Savannah, so I'm trying to get her parents home, and it's all about believing that miracles are possible.
Yeah, and another thing that was cool is Jana's character is a returning. She's a veteran herself.
Oh, okay.
She had served as well, and she's also one of those characters that just takes care of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She's a mother hen type, and everything's perfect. She's the one that she's going to take the giant folder of things that have to get done because she knows she could do it. She doesn't want to burden anybody else with it, and no one's going to do it as well as she can.
Welcome to my life.
No,
Don't like
Yeah,
to ask
right.
for help. I'll just do it
so,
myself.
but there's a fun journey for her there too when she meets Michael.
That'd be great. So Tim Reed is in this film. What's his role?
Yes,
Is that fun working with him?
he's General O'Toole.
Oh, he's the best.
We love Tim. Tim's amazing.
He has
Tim,
stories. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who's been doing this for decades, and he's one of those legendary actors that has it's so effortless with him, and he was so sweet and nice, and just came in, did his lines, very nice to everybody, and then goes back into isolation for for 48 hours and comes back out. He's very very cool guy, and but he plays Chloe's, we could say her overseeing general or boss, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably one of my favorite scene partners. Like, he was just, I loved hearing his stories.
Huh.
No, I mean, no.
Interesting.
No,
Okay.
you were my favorite, but like my favorite in the sense of like after the scene, like the stories he would tell and his life was just, he was just a very interesting and full of just like knowledge. So
Yeah, no, he was awesome. He has this incredible Martin Luther King Jr. story that
yeah.
you'll have to get him on the podcast. I'll let him tell it, but it's pretty remarkable. He's an awesome guy.
Oh, that's great.
What I meant to say
That's-
was second favorite.
Okay.
Thank you. Noted.
That's
Yeah.
right. You can have multiple favorites. We'll allow
This
that
is
on
true.
the podcast.
This is true.
Well, very good. We're excited about the film. I think it's going to be really fun. Well, we'd like to end with some fun, silly questions that you can all fight over and answer. It's going to be great. Okay. So, what is your favorite holiday drink? We'll start with you,
Oh.
Brian.
Me? Oh my
Could just
gosh.
be hot cocoa or eggnog.
Eggnog.
Yeah.
I love
Mine
eggnog.
is hot chocolate, a crap ton of marshmallows.
Okay, good.
That's yours? Yeah.
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 Mine, it's funny, like mine would be eggnog, but it's weird because I don't like eggnog, but I convince myself every year that I do,
Uh-huh.
and I insist on drinking it, and I
So you-
don't know if I've ever gotten a whole cup through, and I'm like, why am I drinking eggnog?
You're just a glutton for punishment,
A
evidently.
glutton for punishment. That's what I do.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's your
I
favorite.
don't
There
even
is
drink it
there
with
is-
the alcohol.
Yeah,
I just get
likewise.
it. I get it in like the dairy section. Like it just
Why
drink
can I
eggnog.
picture you so well just pounding eggnog? It's just all
I
too
love it.
perfect. Like, yeah,
love
I
it.
know this. It makes so much sense.
It
I've
does.
seen
This
it now.
lines
Yeah.
up. Jana's all cozy by a fire with her 7,000 marshmallows.
You're getting drunk on
in the,
alcohol-free-
in the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
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 I end up diluting it quite a bit with
Oh,
milk,
that's smart.
and because it's a little thick for my taste.
Rachel, I'm just
Uh,
telling you, go get it at the supermarket. It's in the dairy section.
Yeah.
It's right next to the
Yeah.
whole milk. It's good.
That's what I do, and then put a little bit of milk in there, make it not as strong. Okay.
Do you see Brandon's little picture? I love that.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry,
Okay.
I was
What
I was
is-
typing.
What is
Yeah.
your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Oh, easy. So
Go, Brandon.
my mom makes these, we call them rollouts. They are legendary. It's basically a sugar cookie with frosting on it. But it's like this generational recipe, and it was a huge tradition in our home. In fact, that's what kicked off the holiday season for us was
Mm.
we make the rollouts, we make the cookies, we make the cookies. We had all these cutouts, and she would spend all day making the dough. You have to freeze the dough, refrigerate the dough. And then at night we'd make these incredible cookies and we'd decorate them. We'd fight over, who gets this, who gets that. That's my cookie, this is my cookie. And they are the most incredible tasting cookies I have ever eaten in my life. So my wife makes them now, and our friends make them. Like everybody knows about these cookies. So hands down, there it is.
That sounds really good. What about
Yeah.
you, Jana? Do you have a favorite?
It's not really a cookie, but I make these Rice Krispie wreaths. So I color it with put green dye on it. You make wreaths, and then the hollies are those cinnamon candies. Those really,
Uh-huh.
so they're good.
That sounds good. Brian, what about you?
Mine, I think, I'll go with sausage pinwheels. These little.
You would
Do you know what those are?
no.
You go
No.
savory, huh?
It's like, because I'm not a huge like I like a good cookie like anybody else, but there's this nice balance of like a Pillsbury roll, but with sausage in it, and you mix them around and cream cheese or something. Oh my God, it's like the best thing ever. It might be because I'm Jewish, I don't know, but I love it. I love it. But I didn't know they
love it.
existed until my wife's family, who's not Jewish, made them, and it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Very good. Okay. And yeah, feel free to have a Hanukkah answer for any of these. Equally applies. So do you have a favorite classic Christmas movie?
Love Actually.
It's a good one.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. I'd have
Pretty
to
sure
say,
mine's
like,
gonna be
Family Stone is a good second one for me.
Family Stone. I love Family Stone. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a 3-way tie. No, 4-way tie. It's a Wonderful Life, Christmas Vacation, Gremlins, Die Hard, 5-way tie, Lethal Weapon. Done.
I am
oh, we're
not
doing
seeing
that.
any
So we're
of
putting Die Hard in there. Okay.
You haven't
Yeah.
seen any of them, Jana?
No.
None?
You've never seen
Wow.
Die Hard or Lethal Weapon?
No.
What?
What?
How?
How is that possible?
How have you made it this far in life without seeing Die Hard or Lethal Weapon?
Okay, I'll
Love Actually is amazing. Yeah.
watch this here. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
Oh,
in
my
fairness, I just watched Lethal Weapon for the first time this year, so I can't be too.
Thanks, Rachel.
This is-
Yeah.
No.
And I'm-
What is
No,
happening
no,
in
no,
life,
no,
Brian?
thank you, Rachel. No, thank you is the answer to that. Wow.
Brandon,
Wow.
do you have one?
I do. Yeah. I mean, for me, again, dude, I don't know what Christmas growing up in our house was I was the most excitable kid as it was, and my parents just did this incredible job of just hyping, the holiday seasons. And it started with the old school puppeteer Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh yeah.
And there is not a year that has gone by that I haven't watched it. And I've tried to get my kids into it, and none of them like it, and it like breaks my soul. So I'm this, grown man, and I'm on the couch, and I'm watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer literally by myself. So that for me is always number one. And then Love Actually is one of my favorites as well. And Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation, and then Home Alone is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Home Alone's one of my favorites.
So
That
those
was-
four
good
for
ones.
me are top.
Yeah, Home Alone was the first comedy that ever really I connected with.
Yeah,
I saw it with my grandparents when I was 9, and I just loved it. I thought it was so funny. I still love it. All right. So which is your favorite, Scrooge or the Grinch?
Neither.
Scrooge.
yes.
Scrooge.
Yeah.
I'm going. I just loved him. The Grinch. I'm going the Grinch. Just
Okay.
You going the
Grinch?
I'm going Grinch.
You're
When
just
I
gonna
think
go
of Scrooge,
okay.
I think Bill Murray and Scrooge.
Mhm.
And
Yes, that's
kinda
true.
where I'm-
Yeah, and he
That's
is
kinda where
like
I'm
a
going.
national treasure. So I do.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm still stuck on Jana not seeing Die Hard. Like there's time between now and Christmas to watch.
This
Yeah.
is true.
And I'm
Hey,
gonna
if you
watch
want to have a movie night,
all of that.
I'm up for it.
All right.
I'll watch that
I'm watching it
together.
All
Okay, great. Which do you prefer, clear lights or colored?
clear.
Well, colored.
Ugh,
But
clear.
it depends. Like,
Are you talking
colored
about like
could be-
the little string
Color
of Christmas
color
lights in
on the
movies?
Christmas tree, but clear outside around your house.
Oh yeah.
However
colored on
you
the
interpret
Christmas
the
tree for sure.
question is fine.
Yeah.
Clear.
Okay. Well, if I had to choose, I'm going colored though.
Yeah.
I'm going clear.
But I do appreciate them both.
I'm always clear outside, and it drives my husband nuts because he wants. And I'm like, no, white is classy. It is nice. Like I'm just like, no, yeah.
So would you rather be in a snowball fight or build a snowman?
build a snowman?
A snowman.
Yeah.
Snowball fight. Come on. I have a story about a snowball fight. First time I ever got stitches was from a snowball fight. I was 7 years old, and somebody threw a snowball at my face, which happened to be an ice ball, and it hit me right between the eyes, and I had 7 or 8 stitches literally right between my eyes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Snitches get stitches.
Snitches get stitches. Am I a snitch now? What?
Do you remember the name of the kid that threw that ball at you? Of course you do.
No, I'm not a snitch.
Ah.
I ain't snitching. I know where he lives though, and that's all that matters.
All right. So, do you consider yourself a good gift wrapper or not?
I'm the worst. I'm the worst at wrapping gifts.
Okay.
I use a whole roll for one present. I just wrap it over and over again. Like the flaps that you tape down, they're like 8 inches thick. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing.
That's funny. Jana, I feel like you're a good gift wrapper. No?
First, 5 that I wrap are so beautiful, and then the last, after the 5th one, I'm like, I'm over it. I'm done. And I'm just I'm holding it, and I'm just doing it to get it done.
Yeah. That's. And Brandon?
Amazing.
You're
No joke. I OCD over wrapping presents. My mother was a meticulous wrapper. She was so good at it, and I guess that gene got passed down to me. I take my time. Like my wife will wrap 4 presents in the time it takes me to wrap 1, but mine you can put in a commercial.
Oh, nice.
So
that's good.
Wow. I mean, you've just built yourself up so high that now Jana, Rachel, and I are expecting presents from you
1,000%.
that are
1,000%.
beautifully
All right,
wrapped.
good.
1,000%.
Rachel, I got to say one thing. Because I'm realizing it after just rewatching the film. This has one of my all-time favorite scenes I've ever done in a movie in it.
I know.
And it's what, Jenna?
I know what you're gonna say.
The duet.
Uh-huh.
That's my favorite.
Same one. It's your favorites.
It's just so beautiful, and I know what Brandon went through for that scene.
Oh.
And the chemistry, the connection, the holiday of it all, the romance of it all, just like leaps off the screen for me in that. And I'm so proud of them, and I love that scene.
What was so hard about the scene?
Well, for me personally, I'm not a singer, and I'm very self-conscious when I sing in front of people, and it was a very difficult thing for me to do. I don't know, but Jana and Brian were amazing and made me feel so comfortable. But it was a very difficult process. I will say that.
Is your character in the movie supposed to know how to sing?
No.
Okay.
So, it works. But for me personally, Brandon, it was like I conquered a fear.
That's great.
And it was fun. I ended up having a lot of fun with it, but it's just one of those things. I don't know what it is.
They do a duet too. I'm not gonna tell you. You'll see the movie. All right, I'm excited.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Well, thank you so much to all three of you for coming on and doing this. This was really fun. Had a great time talking with you.
Thanks, Rachel.
All.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel, so much.
And Rachel, the movie premieres November 7th on Lifetime, and then they're re-airing it on Veterans Day in a special edition. We did a bunch of behind-the-scenes interviews that they're going to incorporate into the second airing.
Oh, that's great. That's
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you all have social media or anything that you want to share?
You want to follow along at Kramer Girl is my Instagram.
Okay, great. And you have your podcast?
Yes, called Wind Down.
Great. And Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, the Brandon Quinn on Instagram and Twitter.
Great. And do you have anything you want to share on that front, Brian?
I think it's at Brian Herzlinger. Yeah.
Okay.
I just follow them. That's the thing.
Okay, good.
That's the thing.
Okay, great. Well, we'll have all that in the description section. People can make sure they're following you, and we'll look forward to the movie. And thanks again, and have a very, very Merry Christmas to all of you.
You too. Bye.
You too, Rachel. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.